Sid Jamison. Coach Jamison had such an impact on the lacrosse world. Manned the sidelines for 30+ years for the Bison. And he was such a motivator and an ambassador to the game. Coach Sid Jamison, a legend for Bucknell.
And Coach Federaca has been around the Bucknell program, was an assistant coach with Bucknell for a number of years, so it's not like he's not familiar, but it's always very difficult when you take over for a legend such as Sid Jamison.
And the numbers, you know, they speak for themselves there. 242 career wins, 10th all-time nationally. I remember that 1996, he was the coach of the year in Division I. The Bucknell Bison went undefeated, I believe 13-0, and they didn't make the national tournament. A lot of unhappy people in the state of Pennsylvania in lacrosse that year.
There's always snubs come tournament time in any sport, but that seems like a particularly bad snub when you consider an undefeated team not getting the nod to the tournament.
You know, back then there were only 12 teams, now there's 16. So obviously the chances for making the playoffs are greater now, but you also have the automatic bids. But, you know, going undefeated, what else can you ask from your program? You go out there, you win every game, and you know, you don't make the playoffs. You just got to hope Schlicker's okay right now.
He hasn't moved as they are now bringing a stretcher out to help him out. He hasn't moved from that position, arms out just like that, and they've stabilized the knee area. But he's been in virtually the same position since the injury occurred, and now he will get the stretcher and be helped off the field. I'm sure this crowd will give him a nice ovation, and John Schlicker, and we hope he's just okay. So we'll come back, we'll update you on Schlicker's condition, and we'll have the rest of the second half. It's 5-4 Navy, game 2 of the first 4 in San Diego, California.
You've just won the National College Field Hockey Championship. What are you doing next?
I'm going to my dorm to study for my calculus final.
Number 4 Navy holding on to its 1-goal lead, 5-4 over Bucknell. Matt Barron has really been the difference, Paul, for the Bucknell Bison here today. Without him, there would be a huge disparity in the goal call.
Barron's got the hot hand, stick side save there, very quick reflexes. Doesn't fall for that fake inside. Time and room there, just gobbles up that off-stick low, which is a very difficult save. And then the off-hip, which is the hardest save in the book. Barron was there. He's been there all night for the Bison.
There you see his numbers, 5 big stops. And while those saves, it might not jump out at you with the huge number of saves, it's been 5 very tough and very big saves for Barron.
He's worked for every single one of those. You know, Navy is shooting the ball quite a bit. They're shooting wide, but when they've put good shots on cage, Barron's been there.
And the medical staff continues to attend to Schlicker. They will be taking him off the field momentarily. Something you never like to see in any sport, in any situation. You don't want to see a guy have to get carted off the field in this manner. And hopefully for Schlicker's sake, he is okay.
And Schlicker
just a sophomore. Let's take another look at the play that led to this injury and try to see exactly what happened to Schlicker. It looks like he gets caught in between Dingman and his teammate Abujadi.
Tough angle there, but it does look like that leg got twisted. You know, Bucknell, it's unfortunate for them losing a guy like Schlicker. In the beginning of the season, they lost Brian Gargan, who was probably going to fill the void for Chris Carr carrying the ball on the offense.
Maybe we can see a little bit better with this angle. You just see how his body gets contorted in an awkward position, and he just rolls over and it doesn't look good from that angle at all. That certainly not appealing to look at. And there you see Schlicker pumping his fist to his teammates, which is a good sign that he's fighting through the pain of what appears to be a very serious leg injury and a very, very awkward sandwich between Abujadi, his teammate, and Dingman, the Navy attackman. And it's nice to see Schlicker pumping his fist and trying to tell his teammates that he's going to be okay. A little consolation to him, though, right now, as he's going to be lifted onto the stretcher. These leg injuries in lacrosse, they do happen. Carroll for Duke out for the season. Stephen Brooks, a very gifted junior midfielder for Syracuse, he's out for the season with a leg injury. So teams this early in the season really can't afford to lose their superstars. It's just unfortunate. You got to hope Schlicker's okay and that he could rebound. And this Bucknell team has had some bad luck, if you want to call it that. You mentioned the injury to Gargan. Also, Chris Carrillo, one of their starting defensemen, is out for the season having open heart surgery. So certainly, I wouldn't necessarily call that an injury, but the Bucknell team has had to deal with health situations all season long in a transition year in which they're going to be a lot younger team. They have a first-year head coach, and then to add on the health issues that seem to be plaguing the team right now, a difficult obstacle to overcome. That said, they trail only by 1 goal in this game, 5-4 to the 4th-ranked team in the country, Navy, and they are certainly within striking distance of winning this game, and a win here would certainly be an uplift for this program if they can pull off an upset against Navy despite all of the issues they've had, and most recently the injury to Schlicker, who is currently still on the field. That being said, they do have the leadership still intact here at Bucknell with Matt Barron in the cage and Michael Abujadi on defense. Those guys are proven leaders, and you know, I mentioned it earlier, in Division I lacrosse, you want to have your leaders first and foremost on that defensive end. That's where the games are won in regularity. Offense obviously is critically important as well, but your defense has to have leadership, and they still have that intact. Both teams have now come out onto the field and are going through a little bit of a mini warm-up. You've played in many situations like this, I'm sure. If you're a guy, first let's start, I guess, with Bucknell. You see one of your friends, one of your teammates go down with an injury like that. Now you're out on the field. What do you do to get back into the game mentally and physically? We see them going through a little light warm-up here, throwing back and forth. Yeah, you want to stay loose, especially, you know, in California right now. It's not normal California weather. It's a chilly night out there. This is March East Coast weather, so it gets cold out there. You got to stay loose. You got to stay warm. You know, both teams, though, you know, in lacrosse are being dealt this hand. I mean, obviously, Bucknell has to make adjustments from a personnel standpoint, losing Schlicker, but Navy's sitting around as well. A lot of times when a team goes on a run, pause in action can benefit one team. You know, the team that needs to regroup. But here, a close match, 5-4. You think both of these teams are going to continue to play the type of game they are. And now the entire Bucknell team is heading over to give their best wishes to their teammate, John Schlicker, 5'11", 166, sophomore from Simsbury, Connecticut. 3 goals on the season for this Bucknell team. And what appeared to be a very serious leg injury. He is now being taken off the field after a long time and being treated by the local paramedics and getting a nice round of applause by the Navy sideline, the Bucknell sideline, and the crowd here in San Diego. A well-deserved round of applause, and of course all of our best wishes go out to John, and hopefully he's able to recover from whatever this injury may be. And if we do get an update from the Bucknell personnel, we will certainly pass it along to you to let you know exactly what the official injury slash diagnosis slash prognosis is for Schlicker. Now we have lacrosse to play. It's tough to put something like that aside after you see a serious injury like that, but both of these teams, and I'm sure John Schlicker as well, very competitive, and they both really want to win this game. So Maybe a slow start now here with 3:34 to go in the third quarter, but I expect after that the game will get right back into the competitive style it was for the first 2.5 quarters.
That's a big part of sports these days. It always has been. You never want to see anyone go down with an injury, but you have to be able to regroup. You have to go on. And, you know, as much as the Bison would love to have Schlicker running all over the field, they have to make the adjustment. The next guy in line has to be ready to go.
So we will play lacrosse after the injury to Schlicker. And finally, after a long delay, we are underway here. Let's reset things for you. It is 5-4 Navy in front of Bucknell. This is game 2 of our doubleheader, the first 4 from San Diego, California here on CSTV. I'm Jason Chandler, joined by Paul Carcaterra. The first game, Duke beat Loyola. And now we have game number 2 with Bucknell trying to overcome injury and pull off the upset.
I think the Bison really need to generate some offense from the midfield, attack the short sticks. They're not having much success right now dodging the long poles for Navy, beating guys like Dow and Denola. Bucknell really is having a difficult time because a lot of their ball carriers right now are those freshman guys, Mealy and Tognari. They got to let the midfield do some work and find those short stick matchups.
Here is Mealy, junior attacker. Ball now swung all the way up top to the midfielder, Nick Marks. He moves to his right, now back to his left, and we'll give it up to Doug Buckley. Buckley, stutter step move, creates some distance between himself and his defender. Nice stick that time by Denola, almost picked it off, was able to knock it down, but Tognari tracked down the loose ball and will take it deep into the corner, working against Andrew Dow. Tognari right to the net, in front, hits the post! Oh, Tognari had a great opportunity, rung it off the post, and the ground ball is picked up by Victor Barger for Navy.
Very nice move by Tognari. Almost an opposite move that he did on his first goal. He did it left-handed this time.
Dow feeling the heat along the sideline, just whips it towards the net as he's knocked out of bounds. And the officials will stop play.
Little turn of events. Tognari had a nice look at the cage there and hit the pipe. A few seconds later, Bucknell goes man down. This could be a changing moment in the game if Navy can generate a good look.
Slashing was the call on Stanzik. Let's take a look at this shot by Tognari. Just missed the equalizing goal.
Tognari, bit of a bull dodger. We've seen 2 solid moves out of the freshman.
So Navy up 1 man after the slash on Paul Stanzik. And they will take some time here. They have a minute to work with a little over a minute left to go in the third quarter. Looney takes a shot from up top and scores. Billy Looney from straight away, the heater went up high. And just like that, Navy's up a pair. They take advantage of the man-up situation.
You have to press the sniper. There's a lot of time and room there for Billy Looney. No one's on his hands or his gloves. A shooter cherishes those opportunities. A guy like Billy Looney having all that time to unwind on almost a helpless Barron. You can't give Billy Looney time and room like that. You have to press out, get on his hands, contest every shot he's going to take from the outside. 4th goal of the season
for Looney, who had an 8-game goal-scoring streak snapped in Navy's win over North Carolina, an 11-3 victory last time out for the midshipmen. Didn't score in that game, has 2 here tonight. Finally a face-off win for Bucknell, and a mock cheer comes up from the crowd as the Bison have possession. Big face-off win, though, and that's huge if Bucknell can start getting on the board with the draws.
And Wallace won the clamp there. He just couldn't scoop his own ground ball.
Case along the sideline. Deliberate action, less than a minute to go, third quarter. Navy up a pair and a good one between these Patriot League foes.
Kurt Klatt's been very quiet for Bucknell. Kurt Klatt is a player who was tied for the goal-scoring lead for Bucknell last year with Chris Carra. Just shows you the importance of Chris Carra, how he generated offense, and gave a crease man like Kurt Klatt so many scoring opportunities. I don't think Klatt has a shot tonight.
It was a bad pass by Case, bothered a bit by Zimmerman, leading to the turnover. And Navy has the ball on offense. They can hold for the final shot with 35 seconds to go, third quarter. If you're Navy, how long do you wait till you take this shot, Paul?
I would like to say that you go for it with about 10 seconds left, just in case if you're wide, you still have another scoring opportunity with some backup. You can almost have 2 scoring opportunities.
They're at 14 seconds right now. It's Burstner right behind the net. They hit 10 seconds. Out in front it comes. Tough pass. Handled, though, by Wallen. Takes the shot, goes wide of the net, and it is backed up by Navy. They'll keep it with 5 seconds to go.
Take that shot with about 8 seconds left. You have a quick hitter right here. This should be a design play.
Burstner to Dingman. It is a design play, and he scores with 2 seconds to go. The quick stick on the doorstep. The nice pass from Burstner. And Navy is up by 3. It's 7-4. Great design play.
Anytime you're on offense, you're holding for that last shot, always give yourself 2 opportunities. As I stated, you want to go to the goal with about 8 seconds left. In case you have it wide, that's called a quick hitter in lacrosse. Quick little design play. Navy probably practices that all the time throughout the course of the week. A huge goal.
Matt Russell, the goaltender, excited. 2 big goals for Navy here late in the third, and they have increased their lead to 3. Whistle blows, and the clock hits 0. I don't know if we'll get an official face-off stat on that one, but Bucknell did finally win 1 face-off against Wallace. Russell is happy with his team's effort. They are now up by 3. A strong finish to the third quarter for Navy. Can they hold on? The final 15 coming up next from San Diego on CSTV.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please?
Continue to carry on. For my people. Yo, brainstorm, take the form of a verse. Already wrote the last line before I thought of the first. Just when you think that I'm done, I shift shapes.
Man, what's gotten into people lately?
Introducing Power Bar Triple Threat. It fuels like a power bar and tastes like a candy bar.
Taste, energy, nutrition.
One bite and you'll feel like you can take on anything. Power Bar. Be great.
We are Bucknell University, and as one of the nation's top liberal arts schools, our job is to create opportunities for you. We are large enough to prepare you to excel in any of our 52 major programs. We are also small enough to know our students and their goals. And our athletics program consistently ranks among the nation's highest for athletes chosen as academic All-Americans. To find out what Bucknell can offer you, call us or log on to our website at bucknell.edu.
Here in San Diego, 4th-ranked Navy in front of Bucknell, 7-4 after a mini explosion by the Navy offense to close the third quarter. Time now to look at our efanmail.com quick stats.
Doesn't take a scientist to figure this one out. Face-offs 12-1. If they can continue that, Navy, they'll dominate ball possession in the fourth quarter and really limit any offense Bucknell could have.
That face-off disparity is huge. And we head to the face-off. Wallace locking up with Hare, who's using the long stick. At an even draw, who will come away with a ground ball? It's still loose. I think Navy had it momentarily. Togneri runs past it, and now Bucknell comes away. So I don't know if technically they'll give them the face-off win, but certainly Bucknell gets possession of that one. To midfield it comes for Lane, eludes pressure, comes across the stripe to the top left corner of the box and will set things up offensively for Bucknell. They trail now by 3. It's 7-4 Navy, fourth quarter. A little over 14 minutes left for Bucknell to make a run against their Patriot League rival and fourth-ranked Navy midshipmen.
A game like this, you'd have to think that Bucknell, to have any chance in this game, should answer first.
And they did the hard part, or what has been the hard part for them. They won the face-off, so they got that down. Now they need a good offensive possession. Navy's had a ton of shots in this game and haven't really capitalized on a lot of them. Bucknell, not as many shots, but their shooting percentage much better than the Naval Academy. Flag comes out, and Bucknell draws the penalty. They get a shot. It's saved by Russell Togneri, the spinner. Russell makes the stop, but Bucknell will go up a man.
Togneri took one in the head here. This kid's good, this freshman Togneri. I mean, he's a strong little bull dodger. Loves to get to that top side, runs through the checks. There's a ton of potential. Could be a great player down the road for Bucknell, only a freshman.
Already his team's best ball carrier, according to his head coach, Frank Federaca. So Bucknell on the man advantage for 1 minute. A 1-minute power play, a good chance for the Bison to creep closer. Menzies couldn't handle that pass. Navy is all over the loose ball, and now it goes behind the cage, scooped up by Russell. A costly turnover by Bucknell, and Victor Barger comes across midfield as Navy will look to kill this penalty off. Plenty of time for Marabido as he streaks the end line, comes to the sideline, zigzagging his way towards midfield, gives it up to Steve Looney, who will loop it cross field to Tommy Wallen.
Marabido last year as a freshman had a wonderful season, 27 goals. Coach Meade said as impressive as Ian Dingman and John Bergner and the Loonies were as freshmen, he thought Marabido probably had the best freshman year out of any player he's coached recently. And that really says a lot about the overall skill level of Marabido, stepping in to a position like attack as a freshman and scoring 27 goals in Navy's schedule. That's good stuff.
Very opportunistic player, a lefty complementing Dingman and Bergner. Navy has successfully killed off the penalty. And now we'll go on offense.
I think this Bucknell defense has done a solid job all game. 6-on-6, they really haven't been hurt too much. They're getting killed on the man-up opportunities with Billy Looney cashing in on some uncontested shots. But 6-on-6, they've been with Navy the whole game.
Shea lost the ball. Bucknell had it taken away by Dingman. Here comes Marabido all alone, takes the shot, it goes wide. He had Bergner alone on the crease. I don't know if that was actually a pass or a shot, but a flag came out afterwards.
I think Coach Federaca just had an unsportsmanlike penalty. That will put Navy man advantage. You don't want to put Navy man advantage in this situation with about 11 minutes left, up by 3 goals. If they make it a 4-goal game, it's going to be tough for not just Bucknell, but any team in the country, Jason, to go on a run against a Navy defense with Matt Russell in the base.
Especially, as you said, if Navy can put home the goal here. This man advantage is Coach Federaca still letting the official know what he thinks. Unfortunately for Bucknell, that led to an unsportsmanlike penalty, which Meade, the Navy head coach, sensing an opportunity here, a little blood in the water.
Have to know where Billy Looney is after burning this man-down defense from outside a few times. Recognize where the shooters are here for your Bucknell's defense. You have to press out on Looney, test the shot, get in his hands.
Millet, by the way, serving the penalty.
He's got time in the room again.
Dingman, plenty of time, plenty of room, but well high and wide on that one.
And what great shooters do, guys like Billy Looney, when you start scoring from the outside, the defense really has to start to fly to you. You can see that there should be some open opportunities inside.
Here's Looney, looks like he's gonna shoot, he does, it goes over the net. You can see, even before he got the ball there, just taking those stutter steps, getting himself in a good shooting position.
Great shooters always find time and room. You know, he might press low and then pop high to get his hands free.
Looney up top, looks like he's open, doesn't get the pass though, because Tommy Wallen wants to finish it all for himself. Wallen rips a shot from the right wing, and Navy is on the board again. It's 8-4 Midshipmen.
That goal could be the backbreaker. I don't know if the Bison have 4 in the bank to match this Navy run. That's just a high, hard shot. Barron has that quick reaction and does a great job going stick on stick, but too much Tommy Wallen there.
Wallen had an opportunity. Looney was open up top. He was creeping like he wanted the ball desperately, but Wallen that time decided not to make the extra pass, and he made Bucknell pay. That's Wallen's first goal of the year. And Navy has pushed ahead now. A sizable margin, 8-4. And a procedure call against Navy. And they have possession. Or procedure call against Bucknell, rather. And Navy has possession, so Navy will win another faceoff. Looney open in front, gets it to Dingman. He'll shoot, saved by Barron. It's loose out in front, scooped up by Bucknell. And the call goes against Bucknell, so Navy will get it back. After the nice save by Barron, Dingman again with room, driving to the net. Cut off that time from his lane. Burstner directly behind the cage, out in front, takes a shot, knocked down by Barron. Navy not sitting on this lead whatsoever. They're going right to the net, Paul.
With 10 minutes left, you want to get nice scoring chances, high percentage shots. The last thing you really want to do also, though, with 10 minutes left is to get caught up in a stall game. Oftentimes, you get away from your offense, and when you're stalling the ball, it could come back to haunt you. They're pressing, they've been successful getting some shots here. I think they continue to run their offense. But in the back of their mind, you have to think about high percentage shots. Run that offense. If you have an opportunity, go for it.
Same hold true for Bucknell. They definitely need to shoot a little quicker. They do get a shot up that time that goes to the side of the net, tipped by Russell. Marks not on the mark with the shot. But if you're Bucknell, Paul, and they like to play the slow down game as most teams do, but I think they need to pick up their tempo and get shots off a little bit quicker, and that's exactly what they do. Marks goes back for seconds and scores on the left side of the net. And it's 8-5 Navy in front of Bucknell. Do the Bison have a little bit of a run left in them?
Marks, very similar to his first goal. Sets up his right hand with the left. Gets the defense to commit to the left side. Does a great job of separation. And that high, hard bounce shot to the opposite corner. Nice placement on the shot by Marks. Those are 2 great dodges. Thumbs up for Nick Marks. He's feeling it tonight.
He must be feeling it tonight if he gets the Paul card and tear a thumbs up. And that is a tough honor to earn. But he did it, and he's got his team back to within 3 goals of Navy. A procedure call, it's going to go against Bucknell, however, and Navy will get it. There's no way Bucknell can come back into this game unless they start winning some faceoffs.
Possession, possession, possession. You have to possess the ball to make a run. That's what faceoffs do. Faceoffs and goaltending. Faceoffs create runs. Goaltending can stop runs. And if you have that nice mixture, which Navy certainly does this year, with William Wallace at the X and Matt Russell in the cage, that's a formula for success.
Nekanicki just outside the box, moves to his left. Extends the pass over to Higgins, who will run the end line.
Abu Jadi's done a nice job on Bursner. Navy's quarterback, he's been quiet in the 6-on-6. It looks like right now, Bucknell potentially is in a zone. Yes, they're in a zone defense right here.